everybody, welcome to NC Real Estate's YouTube channel. It's an absolute pleasure having you over here. My name's Natasha Collins, I'm a chartered surveyor and I am the founder of NC Real Estate. It's members club designed for landlords and property investors to build profitable property portfolios that completely align with their goals. Today's question is all about whether you should be buying properties, for example, student lets that come with a guaranteed rental income for 5 years, and how should you go about doing that? This is a question from in my Property Investment Mastery Facebook group. Well, this is a great question and one that I get asked a lot. As you probably are aware, you will get inboxes full of sources or investment agents asking you whether you would be interested in buying this sort of property. And at the moment, as this sort of property is on the rise, you are probably seeing hundreds of these emails every single day. An investor will get in contact with you saying, I've got a new one, do you want to buy it? So the question is, how trustworthy are they to start off with? Well, I would always take it at face value. No matter what, you are going to have to do your due diligence. So that is, you're going to have to look at the terms of the deal. What are you buying for your money? Is it an actual one-bed flat, or is it a pod where there might not even be a kitchen and maybe it doesn't even have really a big enough bedroom with separate living area? You need to really look at that. Then you've got to have a look at actually how much rental income will you be getting? What is the income that you're going to be generating on a yearly basis, and how can they guarantee it? Perhaps they do have a long-term lease in place with a university, in which case, great, that's fabulous, but you need to see that. You also need to see what happens if student accommodation doesn't work out and the influx of students drops. I know firsthand, being a university lecturer, that at undergraduate level the student intake is dropping slightly because it is very expensive to go to university now, and there are better options in the form of apprenticeships. And apprenticeships really are when you go to university and you work alongside doing your degree, and usually those type of students will have their own accommodation somewhere else. So that need for student accommodation might not even be there. So you do have to look at the agreement and whether you can use that property for something else in case you can't let it to students. Then you also need to have a look at the terms of the lease, because inevitably when you're buying these smaller accommodations or these guaranteed rental income, you need to see what it says there and whether you've got the right to manage the property yourself and what decisions you've got to make. Your solicitor can help you with that as well, but be strategic here. Make sure that it gives you flexibility. You also want to have a look at the service charge and how much you'll be paying, because you can get snookered pretty easily if that creeps up. So you also need to make sure that the managing agent, whoever is managing the block, is RICS regulated or ALA regulated, because then they have to keep the service charge down. If they're not, then there's no one to regulate them, in which case they pretty much can go off and do what they want, and that can get really, really expensive. So do remember that tip. And then finally, I want you to also make sure that you can get a mortgage on it, because a lot of mortgage lenders actually don't lend on this type of property. So again, you need to find a specialist provider, and that can be difficult. So make sure that you're going to brokers who already know about this property type and that they're comfortable to allow you to lend to you on this. You'll often find when you look at the investment particulars for these property types that it actually says cash only or 50% upfront or some other crazy extreme. So you have to be very aware of this and make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row. Then if you do the complete deal analysis and it stacks up and it looks like, yes, actually I'm going to be making a lot of money from this, fabulous, go ahead. But you do need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence. So make sure that you've read everything, and if any point the investment agent is at all dodgy about it or they're trying to avoid stuff, that's when the alarm bell should be ringing and you should move on and go and have a look at something else. So I hope this has answered your question. It's given you a lot of food for thought. Remember, whatever happens, you've always got to make sure that you're doing your due diligence. So that's been the answer to today's question. Should you be buying these guaranteed rent properties or the student guaranteed rent properties? Well, the answer is you need to do your investigation like you would with a normal property. And yes, if the deal stacks up and everything is legitimate and costs aren't going to go skywards over the next couple of years, then fabulous. You've got yourself a good deal. But if there's anything that makes your gut feel like, this isn't for me, then I would back away and have a look at more traditional buy-to-let properties. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it's been really useful for you. Remember, hit like and also leave a comment below that you've been over here. It would be absolutely lovely to have a conversation with you. And then don't forget to head on over to www.ncrealestate.co.uk, where you can find out everything there is to know about my members club, a place that I have built to make sure that you have that tailor-made strategy so that you can keep investing, no matter whether you're a beginner investor or someone who's been doing this for years, to build a property portfolio that meets your goals. Thank you for watching today, and I cannot wait to catch up with you again soon.